pull out your tape deck. The tape looks fine, but when you play the tape, there are several portions of the tape that just sound like static and like garbled noise. Everything you talked about that was directly loop related is somehow distorted.
Wait, did anybody check up on Red? We should probably invite her too.
Jerry went on vacation.
What? When?
I called your house and left a message.
Oh, yeah. Mom said a friend went on vacation, and I thought she was talking about James.
James who? What James?
James Roddenberg. He's from school.
Oh, okay. No, but wait. And when were you going to tell me this?
I don't know. I try to tell you things all the time, but you're too busy playing with your stick and being all angry at the wall.
There was definitely a heavy emphasis on vacation.
God,
so I think it's going to be a while before they come back, if at all.
They got her.
Oh my God.
No.
Awful.
She sounded like she was fine. She sounded fine.
I mean, there's no guarantee. Even if she comes back, it's not like a clone or like.
And I'd sound fine if I had a gun to my head too by some government folk.
Yeah.
I really think you're getting a little too into this. She sounded fine. She just said she had to go.
This entire. Hey, I'm really, really sorry. I put you in this mess. I shouldn't have called you out that night. And well, both of you, but I'm sorry because I feel like I've brought a bunch of crap on you guys, and now I'm just scared that it's not going to stop. That the next time I talk or next time I'm here, you're the one on vacation, and then apparently we're going to go on vacation, and I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm just so mad and upset about how everybody in this town seems to know everything and doesn't want to talk about it, doesn't want to tell us about it, and then we're the ones that have to deal with the shit, I'm just glad you guys are okay, at least. And I guess the worst thing that we all got off with was grounding, which seems weird. Like, does it not freak you out that that's all that got to us? Like, after everything, like they know we broke in. I mean, they know we got in there and we saw what we saw. Did your parents ever talk about that night? Colt, did mom ever talk to you again about that night, about what we were doing, why we did anything? I mean, she wasn't talking to me because I wasn't talking to her, but...
I mean, she asked what we were doing and I told her the story about my dog.
You don't have a dog. We don't have a dog.
I know.
What? That isn't... Okay, but
she bought it.
You really have to stop beating yourself up for everything that has happened, because some things like you can't control.
Yeah, but I'm just so weirded out that no one is as weirded out as I am, I guess. I mean, listen, like, how would you feel if when all of a sudden you find a weird contraption that shows you some weird thing has happened in your life where your entire childhood was a lie, that your dad, who suddenly was told that he still loves you but just can't see you because he had to leave to go back to India and then got stuck there because of some sort of immigration problems, so he can't come back, and because of immigration problems we can't go back, so the only way to talk to him was through letters, because apparently where he went to his old village area and they don't have telephones, and so I never got even talk to him. All I got was little letters. Then you find out later that no, he didn't leave. He just left with someone else and decided he didn't want to talk to you. And the letters were actually from your mom, I don't know, taking pity on you, I guess, and then lying to you that your dad, still loves you and wants to be around you. And then fuck all, doesn't do that. And then on top of that, I find out my brother was originally in an accident and was under the table and had an operation and a bunch of stuff done at a government facility that I went in, and has same facility that has clones, that has robotic dogs, that does work with weird, I don't know, space magic, I guess. I don't know what this is. And then on top of that, your mom knew all along that all of this was happening, but didn't bother to tell anybody because, haha, it's a weird thing. So I don't know who to trust anymore. I don't know if I can trust her. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if anything else is wrong with my brother over here. So I'm just freaking out. And then after all of that has happened, nothing else goes down. Except we got grounded for 30 days. I just feel like everything up to now has just been a big lie.
Sometimes grown-ups make lies so that the truth don't hurt as much. And it's more for them than it is for us. She loves you. We talk about you when you were eating. She always asked how you was doing. You're the one that didn't come down and have dinner with us. You didn't come sneak a little TV with her. She probably wrote those letters just like Max said, so that you'd feel loved and not forgotten.
It just was a lot at once.
Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are back. We're back for our tiny finale. You know, sometimes as a GM or a producer, you fuck up. And this is that. So we're going to do a small wrap-up for this finale that I definitely should have just extended the last episode for, but here we are. And then we're going to do a Q&A. So get your Qs ready for our A's. That makes sense. And enjoy.
No, we are assholes.
Yeah, that's
so,
true.
Get your questions
Get your
ready
cues ready for our asses.
For our asses. So just put them right up there. If you guys like what we do here and you want to support whatever the hell this is, Patreon is the best way to do that. Link down below for more of these shenanigans and all kinds of fun things, like maybe artwork for season 2. Who knows? Hashtag season 2 confirmed. That's it. No need for a corruption bar. It's one scene. It's already corrupt enough. But definitely think about questions. We'll have answers. All that fun stuff. And join us in the Discord for more of that bullshit. So, we already saw the previously on. So I'm going to jump right back in here. We cut back across the town of Glenbrook. Excuse me. We cut back across the town of Glenbrook from the Trivedi residence, where the last words we heard was, Ogus, where's Colt? We zoom to exactly where Colt is. He was left in the salvage yard. A fine place for a young 10-year-old. But he's not alone. He's there with his friend Mac and their newfound friend, Jennifer, who hasn't killed Colt yet because they are working on fixing the motorcycle that he crashed after doing a sick jump with. We see parts being dragged across the junkyard. We see wrenches turning, screwdrivers driving screws, and all manner of piecemeal put together of this dirt bike. And over the sound of manual click, 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 click of ratchets and the clank of metal, Mac, you hear music lilting softly through the early summer air. You can't be sure where it's coming from. What do you do?
What kind of music is it?
It's a little soft. It's definitely not your jam.
It probably just kind of like stops what she's doing and starts looking around. Probably get up and just see if I can see anything, or if walking around a little bit makes it easier to pinpoint.
Sure. Roll me an investigate.
Oh gosh. Investigate. I'm glad I did something with it. 2 successes.
Perfect. You hear the music. It's coming from near the entrance, but you don't see anything. There's no cars around. There's no radios. There's nothing around there that could be making that sound. And as you're kind of like, you have like a hand to your ear maybe as you're listening to this sound, the music changes. It's still a little soft, but it builds. There's like a crescendo to it. And then it hits that line and you recognize it immediately. I want to break free. I want to break free. You know that song. It's one of your favorite songs.
Yeah. As I hear it, I start kind of like jamming to it, and my footsteps carry me a little bit faster towards that sound.
As you move towards the chain link fence around the salvage yard, it's coming from the Volkswagen bus.
Oh. I didn't leave the radio on.
I'll just go head to the bus and see what it is. Turn the radio off, apparently.
Sure. You head to the bus, you sort of throw open the side panel of the bus, and it changes again. But now you can hear the lyrics. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. You've heard this song before.
I mean, who hasn't?
You've heard this song before in your house. You've heard maybe your dad singing it. Roll me comprehend.
1 success.
This is the Elton John version of your song. You have heard your dad sing this song. It's one of the last songs you heard him sing this song, several years ago, and never again since then. In fact, most times it comes on the radio, he turns the volume down. He turns the volume down because this is the wedding song of him and your mother.
Is it coming from the radio?
It is.
I'll get up into the driver's seat and try to turn the radio off.
The bus isn't on.
I'll kind of turn the dial a little bit.
You crank the scanning knob on the dial here, and when it stops, I don't have much money. Man in a traveling show. At every channel you turn this to, this is your song. Everyone is playing your song by Elton John.
That's so weird. The radio stations never sync up like that. This isn't even on. Hello?
I tap the radio.
As you tap the radio, roll me. Let me see here. What was it? Was it comprehend? Was the roll we were having you do? No, you succeeded on that. We'll go with that. You tap the radio, and that incandescent bulb, that little glowy green, it flashes. It blinks behind the scan panel, basically the channel diode panel, and the music fades. It's still audible, but you just tapped it, and it's like someone turned the volume down.
Hello?
Hello? It's almost like an echo.
This is really weird. Is anybody in there? Not if you can hear me.
Mackenzie?
No one calls me that. Who are you?
Is it you?
I mean, that's a really big question if you really think about it. Is it me? It could be. Is this you? Who are you?
Maybe it's me.
Does me have a name?
It sounds like Elton John just sort of said, "Baby, it's me," out of the radio of this, which is its own weird level of creepy.
Yeah.
It's maybe it's Mom.
My mom?
Who else's mom would it be?
Still sounds like Elton John.
Yep.
Very weird.
Well, I didn't realize Elton John was a parent, but apparently that could be new news.
Is anyone around?
Me?
I saw you in the in-between. You have to get back there.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how. How do you how do I find you?
How did you get there before?
Oh, that was a long story. Why am I talking to Elton John on the radio? This is so weird.
I can only do this for so long. I had to get your attention.
Okay, I'll try. I'll try.
You have to get back there. You have to find me.
Okay. All right.
The girl is the key.
The girl is the key. Oh. Jennifer?
I didn't get her name. Mackenzie, you have to listen to me. And you can hear that, like, the volume of Elton Mom and your song is starting to match in volume, and it's hard to hear the difference between the two of them. Like, you can tell Elton Mom is yelling over the lyrics of this. It's like yelling in a crowded bar kind of thing. Mackenzie, you have to listen to me.
I'm listening. What do I need to do?
You and you can see that the meter moves across the stations. And again, I want to break free, Mackenzie. And now it sounds like Queen, the whole band singing to you. Freddie Mercury is singing I Want to Break Free and is saying, Mackenzie, in that
dream
hurried
come
voice.
true. Freddie Mercury is saying my name.
Mackenzie, you still there?
And I think at this point the audience would see Mackenzie has somehow ended up like on her knees, face right in the radio, like almost like she's praying to it, like she's trying to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I can hear you. Just what do you need me to know?
The boy, Project X, save the boy. Save the boy. And then the lights inside the vehicle start to flash, and you can see like the hazards turn on, and like all of the check everything lights turn on. Project X, figure it out. Figure it out.
Okay, Mom. Okay.
And as you say, okay, Mom, the headlights, which were glowing bright in the daylight sun, go, and the filament bulbs smash out of those. All of the lights turn off and the radio dies.
Mac jumps backwards, scared by the sudden popping.
You see, like,
And-
the panel that Colt had opened before, like, sparks shower out of that.
And she just sits there for a few minutes, just staring at the radio, trying to figure out what exactly just happened. And then, with no warning, just scrambles to her feet and runs back to Colt, who I assume is still working on the motorcycle. Colt, what? So, hey, wait, stop. You're, have you ever heard of a radio turning on and then talking to you in the voice of a rock star, or Elton John, or maybe Queen, or
A rock star or Elton John.
Mac, you feeling okay, or did you bump your head, or were you dream? Did you fall asleep in the car again?
No, I'm pretty sure that wasn't a dream.
is anyone around? We're
Just the two of you.
So,
and then I kind of like lower my voice. I said, so I heard some music coming from the bus. And so I went there to turn it off, but the radio wasn't, the car wasn't on. It was off, but the radio was on, and it talked to me, and Elton John, I think maybe my mom speaking with Elton John's voice. I don't know. And then Freddie Mercury was there. But anyways, they told me to protect Project X, which I think is you. And also that I need to go back to the in-between because they saw me in the in-between.
Colt just kind of like takes a second to try to process everything. So wait, Mac, your is your mom in the dark place?
I think so. Like, well, last time we went, we were coming out, and I pushed you out, and then I like forced myself out, and as I was leaving, I thought I heard someone call my name, and maybe I did. I thought I imagined it, but like there's
I mean, I believe you. I don't think you're making anything up. We should pack up and get ready to go to the dark place if we got to get your mama.
But she's been gone for a really long time.
And if she's in the dark place, if it's anything like how Jennifer was there, she's been there for even longer, or at least it feels that way to her.
Well, yeah, probably, which means we should go as fast as we can. But how do we get back there? Because didn't we lose the thing?
Did we lose the thing? Do we still have the
half moon thing?
Yeah.
You still have it.
We still have it. Yeah.
Still have it.
Yeah.
A donut?
Yep, the donut. We can get back there anytime. Let me just go back and get Otis, and we'll go. We'll go right now. If your mama in there, I want to get her out as soon as possible.
But Colt, if my mom's in there, then that means that this thing has been around for a really long time. Like, we just heard about it like a month ago, but my mom's been gone for years. I was just a toddler. Well, what if I don't even recognize her?
I mean, don't like baby bears when they're separated from their big mama. Don't they like know their mama even if they hadn't seen them in like forever? They get separated.
I don't know much about bears. Maybe. She talked about you too, and she said that I have to protect Project X.
Well, that's not my name. My name's Colt.
Yeah, but Oja said that you had records in the loop, and that's might be what they called you then.
Well, that don't make no sense. Look, we're gonna protect each other. It doesn't matter who we are, right? We're friends. But we gotta go back and get your mama. We can go back to my place and we'll pack some gear up and get ourselves all ready to go so that we're prepared to go in and then we'll go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, maybe Otis has calmed down a little bit. I know he was really upset.
Look, I think I don't think it's gonna matter if you tell him that it's your mom, then he'll come no matter what. I mean, he's gonna come no matter what because I'm going. He's always got to go where I go.
Being emotional blackmail, God damn it.
He's 10 years old. He knows what he's doing. He's a smart cookie.
You little bitch.
Well, yeah, he does seem a little clingy to you.
He's just being a good protective older brother.
Well, now you got an older brother and a sister, even if we're not related.
I mean, Otis and I aren't related either. Couldn't you tell?
Well, yes, but like, I meant, we didn't adopt you for that to happen.
It's all right. Otis is the best thing that's ever happened to me. But then I got you too. That's why I mean it. We're going to protect each other and we're going to go in there. We're going to go get your mama. Okay?
I gotta admit, I'm a little scared. Last time it was kind of hard to get out. I had to really push.
I don't know. It kind of feels like it gets a little easier every time I go in.
Maybe. Well, you said I could control it, so maybe with practice I'll get even better.
practice makes perfect, right?
Oh, there's no such thing as perfect. My dad told me that. You just get better and better, and then you try harder, but there's like perfect is an illusion. Because my perfect and your perfect wouldn't be the same perfect anyways.
I mean, I guess. Do you want to go get your mom?
Yeah, I gotta admit, I'm kind of scowling because I'm scared.
It's okay to be scared. Look at everything that we've been through. Come on, let's go get my brother.
We cut to Colt and Mac and Jennifer walking the now mostly functional dirt bike down the road towards the Trivedi residence, where we see Otis and a panicked Mrs. Trivedi about to get in the car to head to the salvage yard when you roll up with the dirt bike and a litany of excuses. You get whatever you need to get, whatever supplies you think you need. Colt, Mac, Otis. Jennifer helps in whatever way she thinks she can. However, no matter what you do to the donut, no matter who touches it, how many of you touch it, where you bring it, it never has the same effect. It no longer floats. It just sits there like a lump of metal on the ground, or wherever you place it. No amount of hooking up batteries or any other 2x4 technology to this that Colt can concoct makes this thing work. And so it collects dust, as things do when children can't get it to work and it just gets put aside. The month of July passes rather uneventfully. DART hosts its annual 4th of July fireworks extravaganza. A family from California moves to Glenbrook. There are family trips to Rocky Point Amusement Park. There are trips to the beach. And as July draws to a close, you all begin to see the new appearance of flyers on every single telephone pole. As you reach down and pull one from the pole, you see in big, blocky font, Carnival of Screams at the Glenbrook Fairgrounds for one night only, Friday, August 2nd, 1985. But that is a story for another time, and that is where we end Season 1 of Glenbrook Unhallowed. The end. And now we have our setups for Season 2 and some fun Easter eggs. So, thank you for this ride of Glenbrook. This is my first campaign of Tales from the Loop. This is also my first campaign in my homebrew world of Glenbrook. We have about a half dozen one-shot episodes set in here. And if you're paying very close attention, Carnival of Screams at the Glenbrook Fairgrounds on Friday, August 2nd, 1985 was the very first one-shot in the world of Glenbrook.
Ooh.
And if you watched that, or were a cast member, you know that the cast of that episode went and fucked off entirely and avoided all of the plot that I had to invent a new plot just for them. So, as a fun little Easter egg for everyone and a middle finger to those three people in particular, this cast will start Season 2 at the Carnival of Screams and see what they should have seen before.
So, guys,
You-
we're gonna fuck up his story and completely go off the rails again. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's
Yeah.
fine. You can't fuck it up anymore because I'm just gonna not describe the thing that derailed them before. So I'm just gonna leave that narratively out of there. So that mission, their adventure still
What was
happens, just in the shadows.
What was it?
hmm She won't tell you.
You tell us.
I mean, you can go back and watch the episode. It's on YouTube. It's on I think I have a playlist for all this shit. But that's it. That's episode 1 in the bag, or episode 1. Episode 12, season 1 in the bag. I feel like we have a good setup for season 2. Brandy will be coming back for season 2. We're all excited. We're all doing some fun things with that. So yeah, let's ask some questions. Let's answer some questions. Chat, if you want to populate some questions in there. I will take questions from this cast because you guys have seen a goddamn majority of this stuff. What questions do you have for me or each other about this past season and the future season?
Oh. Patreon wants to
Don't all ask at once.
Oh, that is something I'm going to keep on file just to make sure I can follow the path.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So we've had in this a couple different moments where, kids grow up and they start getting interested in other people. We saw that Cherry had a crush and Mac apparently had a bisexual awakening during the stream. That was very, very out there. What about Ojas? Does Ojas have a crush or an interest in anyone in school or out of school or anything like that?
I mean, I feel like just like being a typical teenager, he probably has interest in whatever popular girl in school was, I would say. But I don't think he's yet really come across anybody he's actually like romantically interested in, or he kind of has, taken his breath away just yet. There were a couple small things here and there that I thought as KP was like, that'd be kind of interesting. Like when you described Ojas, like you being flustered at Ojas being shirtless, I was like, maybe that's a thing. But then we were like, nope, this is going a different direction. I was like, oh, okay. So I don't know quite yet if Ojas has a particular moment with anybody yet, but that could be something we can explore in season 2. That'd be a lot of fun. Or, something, a past fling comes by and wrecks things, and now we have to go, whoa, shit. So we'll see. I'm excited. I'm happy either way.
I will say KP did write.
I did.
He did write something in his backstory about a romantic subplot, which we did not get a chance to tap into in season 1. And we can absolutely explore that in season 2. I am excited to throw down with that. So yeah, I think if that is something that you want, KP, then you and I will have some chats before season 2 starts, and we'll make that happen.
I mean, as long as if it lends itself to the story, I'm always happy for whatever wrench to be thrown in there.
Yeah.
I really, I think with Ojas, I was very satisfied in how his story progressed this season. I mean, there's still a lot of threads we can pull at, a lot of things that we can go for, but I was very satisfied with how far his story came along. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of just more excited to see what Colt's story is going to be, what Mac's story is going to be, eventually what Candy's story is. Well, no, she got kind of her thing too. I think Brandy was mentioning how, Cherry got her bit of her story already, but like kind of seeing the connections about her family and her, because they already knew for years what's going on. So, her dad's still technically missing, or is he dead? Is he missing? Who knows? So there's a lot of great threads I feel we can pull at that I'm happy to just kind of like let Ojas follow along for. Mm-hmm. And then, later on, see if anything else can tie back in. But yeah, I think Ojas had a big awakening, like not awakening, but like just an eye-opening moment, because up till this point, he was very much the I started Ojas off as this cool kid who kind of just was, laissez-faire, life's easy. I'm excited. I'm the cool guy. Everything's going to be great. And then in a single summer, forget a single summer, in a single weekend.
Yeah, it was like one. The first 10 episodes were one day.
So in a single day, under 24 hours, his entire worldview shifted. He's definitely paranoid. He's definitely to him. I guess it'll have to be something much more natural. That kind of just happens as things go along. Because his mind is right now not at all focused on any of that. It's just purely of what the F just happened. Why is no one caring as much as I'm caring? What's next? When is the retaliation going to come about? Like there's no way we just broke into a government facility and I didn't get arrested. I didn't speak to any government officials. I didn't get taken away. I didn't see weird. They have contraptions that can teleport. They have dogs that can be mechanical dogs that shoot lightning. And yet here I am, and the worst thing I ever got was a 30-day grounding. What the F? When is it coming? Is it coming? When is it coming? What's going on? So he's full on tinfoil at this point. Forget tinfoil hat. He's tinfoil armor.
That's one of my favorite things about a continuous Tales from the Loop campaign is so. The first part of this, the majority of this campaign happened in one day. And then you guys were grounded for a month. You were grounded for the month of June, and nothing happened. And then July, nothing happened. So you had 2 months where you seem like crazy people. Right? Because nothing happened at all.
Where Ojas seemed like a crazy person. Because the rest of us were just like... Okay, that was weird.
Yeah.
Continue on.
But now, even with the whole Mac and her mom thing and whatever Project X is, like, nothing happened. That happened, and then no more weird stuff happens for another 30 days. So it's like, when like, we know as players, weird stuff's going to happen in episode 1 of season 2. But, like, it's been 2 months since anything happened. Any sign of any weird loop thing, any weird science bullshit. Like, to be like, oh, okay, well, maybe that was just a one-time thing, and like maybe it was just weird, and we just got caught in the weird moment, and then 2 months goes by, and something happens, and you're like, oh, fuck, no, we're back! Scramble the jets! We're back!
Yeah.
Is always a weird thing to play, because usually, like, in, like, D&D campaigns, it's like, go, in between, adventures, you just go on more adventures. You guys did nothing for 2 months. You just were regular kids until some shit went down. Which is interesting.
And that's the thing, like, I really loved about that scenario, because that'll happen where you're going to have gaps between adventures, but because you just came down from such a huge adventure, now you're still wired. You're still like, when's the next thing?
And then it
and
never
you start
comes.
Getting a little paranoid. And then when the next thing happens, now you're finally. You come down to the point where you're like, okay, maybe I need to calm down, and you simmer down a little, and then at that point is when shit hits the fan again. You're like, fucking, call this shit.
Yeah. So. We have a question from G that says, I want to know what Mac remembers about her mom and what circumstances she knows about why she left.
Well, I did say in this episode that Mac's mom left or something when she was a toddler. So Mac doesn't really remember anything about her mom. It's like, I'm sure they have pictures around the house here and there, not many because, it hurts, but like you're going to have a picture here or there of your parent, as long as something bad didn't happen that they decided to move on. And with how Mac's dad turns down the radio when their song comes on, so she probably has an idea of what she looks like. that's probably about it. Because I mean, most of us, we don't remember things from when we were toddlers. Not really. I mean, we can sometimes remember like a sight or a smell or a sound or something like that, but memories that far back are pretty sketchy just because we didn't have the cognitive processing to turn those short-term memories into longer term memories and keep them when your brain's developing that much. But so yeah, she knows what her mom looks like, or at least what her mom looked like in that one picture. But other than that, she doesn't really know very much. And I did put in her backstory that just no one talks about it.
Yep.
I left that very ambiguous for Mike to play with.
I think it was like it was the episode where we heard the Mackenzie the Mackenzie in the in between right before that episode. I think I messaged you, Aris, and I was like, I have an idea for your mom, and you were like, let me hear it, and then I just spewed out a bunch of shit in a Twitter message, and you were like, yes, I love this. So Aris and I know a few things about what happened to her mom, but that's it. I don't even know more than that conversation, and I can't reveal what that is because it's spoilers. It all has to do with everything we've seen so far. It just explains why. But yeah. Yeah.
Do I think Mac would ask her dad about that? I'm not sure. Mac is a very she's the rocker archetype. If you know Tales from the Loop character creation, the rocker is a very emotionally charged character. They read the emotions about people, and they're generally pretty sensitive people. So she probably actually likely won't ask her dad about it because she can tell that the memory of her mom hurts him. So that's a probable no, but you never know. What happens in game could change that decision on the fly. But yeah, she's an extremely compassionate person. I made her really good with body and mind in order to skateboard well. But heart is next up on her thing, and she's very much built for to charm people and make connections. Even if she's not good at it, she's built for it. So yeah.
I love that. I love that we had like it was. I'd like to say it was a very like Otis and Brandy, or Otis and Alara heavy story in season 1, and that it seems like it's going to be a Mac and Colt focus story in season 2, which I'm definitely here for. I'm definitely here for those, like, everyone gets some spotlight, but this is going to be a little bit more like they're the characters that are driving the story. I absolutely
makes sense too. Like in terms of just if you ever watch any major story-driven, multi-cast story-driven show, first season typically is about 1 or 2 characters. Everybody else is kind of a supporting cast. They're all important, but they're all driving the story for that 1 character or 2 characters. And then the next season focuses on other characters. If you look at just what kind of the show is similar to, which is Stranger Things, first season is all about 11 and the entire story surrounding 11. But then, and the missing Will. But then the next season, it changes it up. And now you have other arcs that are coming in and other stories that are making the rest of the cast more important, and they're put into the spotlight. And I think that helps make sure that each story has time to breathe and really kind of show its full potential. And I'm excited to see, because there's so much cool things that is behind Mac and Colt's story that I feel wouldn't have been justified if we had just, done it all in season 1 or brought that into focus in season 1 too. So I'm so excited to see how that pans out.
I do want to take a second to emphasize the importance of like we all know the importance of session zeros, right? We preach that as content creators, we preach it all the time. I have shouted from the mountaintops about the 10-minute backstory. I know that Gnome uses the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They are very similar documents. I cannot shout about those enough. Project X was taken right out of Colt's backstory. So Gnome wrote that. The dad, for Otis, he wrote that. The mom for Mac, she wrote that. And Jennifer, Brandy wrote that. All of the major plot beats of season 1 and potentially season 2 were completely written by the players of those characters. I just took the information they gave me and wove it into a narrative. But like they gave me the major hits. We joke about like, thanks for handing me all these knives. But like all of the major plot beats, I didn't write them. I just told you about them. I just took their written thing and then made it make sense in Glenbrook, and then kind of stitched it together. Stitchedbymike.com coming soon. You can get a blanket of Glenbrook.
Hey now.
It just redirects to a specific Glenbrook side of Stitched by Aris. But yeah, I didn't write any of the major plot beats. I just explained how shit came together, which is pretty cool. So I can't preach about those kinds of documents more. I figure out which one works for you, but like they're great for building story. They're great for building plot. And we wouldn't have had this show without that. It would have been a completely different show if I hadn't handed those out and my players hadn't made them. So I encourage that.
I wanted to say, like, none of us went into the season 1 to saying, let's focus on this story. It just very organically just ended up happening how it ended up happening. Yeah. And we all kind of just went along and we're like, oh, okay, so yes, that seems to be the story. Let's focus on that. And I don't think at any point any of us intended to be like, oh no, this is going to be a Alara / Ocha's story. It just ended up, and part of it was just my decision at that moment to go, I want to know what the F happened to my dad. Let's go. Come on. And then I think everybody was like, okay, cool, let's go. Let's find out. So,
it's building on what you were saying earlier, though, before we get too far away from that, it does kind of make sense that Ojas and Alara are the older characters in this story. And a lot of the time, especially when you see like growing up tales and stuff like that, and they TV shows that go seasons to seasons, they start off with, the oldest of the cast as the center of attention. And then, as that goes on, their coming of age major events have passed now. And now it's the younger kids' turn to, get their coming of age events, like major events into that story. So it really did make a very good progression with that. And it's not like we're getting rid of Ojas and Alara. They're still going to be there, and they're still driving some of the plots very much so. But it's interesting how that just kind of happened, that we did get the older kids' plots, their major coming of age events in the first season, and then it season 2 will shift a little bit to the younger kids.
G pointed out that not to forget that Colt found the weird device just because Gnome asked me what there was to do at the sports field, and then was like, yeah, there's a loop booth, right? And I was like, yeah, there's a loop booth right there. Yeah, that like I literally, let me see, what the hell did I write? So episode 1, I didn't even have the loop donut, the official donut in here. Episode 1,
I finally convinced you to call it a donut.
Yeah. Episode 1. Okay, cool. So yeah,
I literally got you into making it into a donut.
Yeah. Well, that's the code name donut. I know that like it. So in the Unmade Gaming community, we joke about a quote I said years and years ago, which is when I go to prepare a game, I just look at myself in the mirror and say, "You're an improv DM, you got this," and then I just wing it. Episode 1, I write 3 scenes for every show, or I intend to. Episode 1 has 1 scene that I wrote, and it's the school's out scene. So it starts with Mrs. Braird and Otis and Alara in history class, then cuts to Miss Crane, who's talking about the math problems in Mac's class, and then it zooms to Old County School in Mrs. Parker's class for Colt. That's all I wrote. So the whole football game, the whole donut, the whole blacked out screen, the whole weird shadow people, that was completely based on your role playing and what you guys did to the show. So like, absolutely lean on your players. I guess is the takeaway from that. But like, trust your players. Like I just listened to your role play and reacted based on that. And I was like, okay, cool. My goal was to get you to a football game, and then something weird happens because it's Tales from the Loop. And then I figured we'd figure it out. Like any number of weird shit can happen at a football game. So yeah, this could have been a completely different campaign, had Gnome not asked about the donut. And then we had that whole great scene where you signed your life away to the Loop. Which is amazing.
And I condoned it. As the older brother's like, oh shit, he's going off to goddamn camp? Yeah, off my hair.
Yeah.
Out of my hair for a bit.
Yeah.
Means no babysitting this summer.
G had a question for you, Gnome, since you've been so quiet. I'm going to stick you with this one. What's the next step for Colt?
Well, we're definitely going to the dark place again. Like, I think Colt's obsessed with it. Or at least, like, here's this kid who has this really big imagination, right? And he just wants... he's part of something, right? Like, what kid doesn't want to be part of something? He watches TV, he watches cartoons, he watches movies, probably more than he should. And he's just like super into this. Who knows why? Because his parents maybe abandoned him, and he feels like, again, he belongs to something. I don't know. He's 10 years old. He won't process those feelings until he's 35, going to therapy. Like, he is the epitome of what like used to be, well, like is a latchkey kid. And he just kind of stuck around with Otis. So whatever Otis kind of does, he's probably going to end up doing too. But he's definitely dragging Otis into the next chapter of this.
Kicking and screaming.
I think it's interesting because like every character has their own credit, right? But Colt is like, I know your playbook was the hick, I believe. But like Colt is unabashedly the weird kid, right? Like Alara is into the same weird shit as Colt is, but she kind of has this air of like popular girl situation, even though like that was sort of thrust upon her because she's the popular because she was pretty girl. But like all of the weird shit driven plot has been pushed by Colt. Like Alara's main goal was to like find Jennifer. Otis's main goal was to keep Colt safe. And then when he got forcibly thrown into weird shit, he was like, and figured out what's going on with my dad. And then for a while, Mac resisted most of the weird shit until she had no choice but to get thrown into it. But anytime any of the characters hit a wall with weird shit, they went, hey, 10-year-old child, let's Ash Ketchum this bullshit, and you help me figure out how to save the town. So like everyone turned to Colt to figure out the weird shit. So he's the leader of the group when it comes to weird stuff going down, which is very interesting. Like everyone leads the group in their own in their own sphere of influence. But like when weird stuff happens, everyone kind of goes, "Hey, little buddy, did you see that? Did you see that dinosaur? What's that about? What do you think's going on there?" And he's like, "I don't know, portals, guys." Like, they're like, "All right, cool, portals. Let's go figure that out." So it's going to be very
definitely
interesting.
Aliens, y'all.
Yeah.
It's absolutely 100%, no doubt in my mind. It's aliens. It wasn't aliens.
I love that when he was even when he was categorically proven wrong that it was not aliens, they were still like, "Yeah, it wasn't aliens though. What's theory number 2, bud?" Like, so it's going to be very interesting to see what plot Colt drives now. Or because the plot is about Colt and Mac, does Colt take a bit of a backseat? Like, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out when you become the plot point. I'm interested in that. Let's see. Any other questions?
Really cool. I mean, I don't think we ever intended it, and I'm seeing more and more. Correct me if I'm wrong, but even if you think about it, like if you think about how Stranger Things worked out, older kids were the grounded ones, and they got pulled into all this. It was the younger kids, because kids are much more imaginative. They're much more willing to accept the out of the box situations and even put that as the primary cause of what's going on, right? They're willing to say, well, it could be aliens, and you're like, that's like cause 30 for me. Like that could be a potential cause number 30, if that, right? So like, we would never consider that as the first option. So it naturally then became a younger kid like Colt, and Mac's not that much younger. Mac's only like a year younger, right? But even then, that sometimes it's
Max
just
14.
Yeah, Max 14. But even if sometimes it's just that 1 year difference that can change that perspective. So having Colt be able to think outside of the box so many times, I think, and being in a situation you're like, okay, what was not probable cause number 30 is a lot closer to 1 now. So clearly my list of priorities on my list is wrong, and the 10-year-old's list is more accurate. So it more than likely we should follow the 10-year-old, because they seem to know what the hell is happening, because I'm out of my element. Especially for Otis. Otis was, he's a smart kid, but he's not like smart. He's primarily the muscle, right? And so he's absolutely out of his elements. And he really does trust Colt. Like, he knows Colt's a smart cookie. He's seen his capabilities. And when Colt says it's one thing, he's very likely to believe it, because he's like, okay, well, I mean, shit, he's a smart dude.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
There's a very interesting thing that I think we've discussed it, I think, in one of the after shows, which if you guys want, they're over on Patreon. I think we discussed it in an after show about why I love Tales from the Loop. Is that, like, it encourages you as an adult to be a child, like, be a kid, right? But it's one of those things where, like, there's subtleties to it. I played D&D for a kid's birthday, and the cast was me as the GM, his mother, and two friends of mine, and this kid, and all of us were seasoned tabletop players, and this kid was brand new, and so, like, we were all jaded by the history of playing games that, like, we wouldn't try these ridiculous things. And this kid was like, yeah, I'm going to jump off that cliff. And I was like, it's like a 60-foot cliff, man. Like, okay, so you're going to take a lot of damage. He's like, what if I make a parachute? And all the other adults were like, what the fuck? I would have never asked to jump, and then I would have never thought to make a parachute. And I was like, yeah, what do you have to make a parachute? He's like, what if I take apart my tent and use that? And I was like, okay, yeah, fucking make a paraglider. But, like, as a kid, and that's the same thing, right? Like, Otis is older, so he's starting to get that, like, jaded level of, like, high schooler about to be a senior kind of thing. And
it's like, it's uncool to be imaginative.
Yeah,
it's uncool to be kiddish at that point, right? So you kind
and
of
Colt doesn't have that. Colt doesn't have that. So it's like, hey, man, this is out of my wheelhouse because it's fucking weird. What do you got? What do you got going on?
That little strange little head of yours.
Yeah.
As an adult who has helped raise many kids, Yeah, I've asked them for help so many times. Like, hey, I don't know how to solve this thing. What you got?
Yeah.
And I have to talk. They're like, oh yeah, why don't you do this? Like that's why it's good to like as adults, talk to younger people.
Yeah. We have a question here that I'm gonna answer as short as I possibly can. It seems like it's gonna be a tangent question, but I only want to answer this question because I know G asked it jokingly. Because when you have a platform, giving weird permission is a thing that happens, and I want to give everyone out there permission to not have a fucking clue. G said, question for Mike, what does it all mean? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. If you're a GM, there's no reason that you need to know the whole fucking plot of your... It's not a novel, guys. It's not. I don't know. I have notes for things that don't connect. I have to go back and rewatch season 1. Thank God we recorded it. To make sure that I have all my ducks in a row for all the shit I made up on the spot to bring into season 2. The Kea files, I don't know what the fuck those are. Where is Ogis's dad? I don't fucking know. Where's Mac's mom? I don't fucking know that either.
Massachusetts.
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck that
Boston
is.
Dynamics.
What happened to Colt? What's Project X? I don't fucking know. I don't know. I know what Gnome wrote in his backstory. That's all I have. Who is Mr. LaBelle? I don't fucking know. What's that weird coin? I don't know. I don't know the answers to any of those things. And it's great because when you have this finite answer, you try to push the plot to that answer, and it eliminates all other possibilities. So I don't know. So when something clicks in my head, or when someone says something that I didn't think of, same thing with Colt. When someone says something that you didn't think of and it goes, oh fuck, that's a great idea. Like the same thing with Aris. And I was like, hey, I have a cool idea for your mom. And she was like, let's hear it. Let's workshop this. And then I was like, yeah, fucking awesome. Or the scene at the end today when Mac had that whole moment in the car, that was brought on by me saying, hey, does anyone want to have any final moments before the season wraps? And Aris said, I'd like to have one with her mom or something weird. And I said, okay. And then I just started putting fingers to keyboard and came up with that scene. So, like, I don't know what half of the plot points mean until they mean something. And that's okay. You don't have to write a novel to be a GM. Just fucking throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks, guys. That's it. That's my soapbox.
Don't throw spaghetti at the wall. You're just going to make a dirty wall and unusable spaghetti.
That's true. Don't do it in an Italian house and watch you get slapped as an adult. Question for KP. Is Otis feeling better towards his mom? She's supposed to be his anchor. Is their relationship better or worse off now?
I think so. The way I looked at anchor, right, is a lot of people, I felt that when they think of anchor, they think of, oh, this is a safe spot that you can go and your character can just, unwind. But I also really thought it was going to be a fun dynamic to have that kind of, what I saw his mom as an anchor point as is just him dumping his thoughts, right? He has all these thoughts that built up. He was able to dump it all out on her, ask for answers. He got some, he didn't get others. I think he still loves his mom. He's just very much upset of being treated like, well, he was, but like all kids, they hate being called kids. They hate being treated like kids. And he's felt that that's what happened to him. Some really weird shit came down that his mom works at, his mom's name was attached to, and now she's not able to answer his questions because now it seems like she can't because her memory seems to be erased. And so there's a level of, not even acceptance, but resignation kind of at this point, I feel. And I think that was part of, like, if I recall correctly, he ended up still hugging her and then leaving to his room afterwards, right? So there's no animosity, there's no hatred. It's just, what the F, man? And kind of just walk off. So I don't think he I think it's still good. The relation is still good. It's still there's still a lot of things he wants to talk to her, but it's more of what's the point? Because it seems like she doesn't know the answers anyways.
Okay, I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Do you, KP, believe that her memory was wiped or that she was lying to Otis?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. That's why when I was speaking as Otis at the time, when I asked her, I can't tell if you're acting or you're genuinely not remembering. Either way, I guess it doesn't matter because I'm still in the same boat. And that was me as KP as well, because I'm just like, oh, this is such bullshit that, part of me thinks that it is still acting. And the other part, if it is still acting, Otis is going to be so devastated, which as KP, as a masochist, I'm just like, oh yes, give it to me. But at the same time, he's a poor 15-year-old child, and whatever, man. I'm just here for the story, and I'm happy whichever direction that takes.
I've got a follow-up question. 15-year-old child, right? When is Otis's birthday?
Oh, when did I put it down? Is that in the character sheet? I forget if that's in the character sheet.
It's not, but 16, you like age out.
You age out of the game. And we're going into August. So like, are you coming back as Otis?
I didn't even think about that.
Because summer's ending.
I feel like he could have just turned 15. Because because we didn't establish what year in high school he was in, right? We just said he was 15 in high school.
I have 15, but it's 1985. So we have a year.
So
which is like sophomore-ish.
That's what, yeah. Sophomore usually
junior,
is 15.
like either an
It doesn't matter what physical year it is for you, and
it's the age.
Yeah, it's an age.
Just the age.
But that's a really good question. But also, why is a freshly 15-year-old kid driving?
Otis, age 15. He's in grade 10. I have it written down.
Yep. Yeah,
Otis,
grade
10. Grade 10. He's a sophomore.
He probably just. That would mean but it's summer.
Going into 11th grade.
Yeah, I'm going into 11th grade then, which would mean I would need to have my birthday soon, at least by September. September, I believe, is a big cutoff. Because that was for me. September was for me, and even that was like should he stay back? And my mom had to force them to put me into third grade. I was supposed to technically go back into second grade when I moved to the US, but then my mom was like, no, he finished second in India. He's going to third here. You're not going to force him back. And so I ended up going into third grade. So yeah, I would say at the latest September. So Otis's time is coming up.
I have a nice little list here of everyone's age and what grade they're in to include all the kids from the one-shots. So that when I reference them and they're in your grade, you'd probably know them. Like there are at least 2 kids in the same grade as Mac. So if they come up, you would know them.
Oh, fun times. So yeah, that's a great question. We'll have to see. Yeah. How is it normally written out though? Like what normally is the usual way? Is it just like what happens? Or is that something I'll just find out?
I don't think it actually describes it in the book. So it's up to the GM on how that affects you. Like I play in a Tales from the Loop game, and like the effect is that like at 16 you stop seeing weird shit. Like you just like the adults just see things as normal. So like kind of like when you all saw the weird shit happen at the football game and all the adults didn't see it. And then your best friend, what the hell was his name? He didn't see it either, and he was like, "What are you doing, man? Why'd you go there without me?" He's 16. So you just see less weird shit.
So
yeah, I was kind of right. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, KP, that means we have like a month to solve this mystery before you just completely don't even care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Or-
always take it like when you're
Lucas
when
was
you're
the
a
guy's name.
teenager, right? What do you start getting more interested in?
Girls or love interest
Well,
of any sort.
partners.
Yeah, some sort of
Your
yeah.
independence, because now you have a car. It's your freedom. You may have to work, so you have to
Yeah.
start taking on all these adult
College,
responsibilities.
starting to thinking about college
Mhm.
applications.
Yep.
Yep.
Got to focus on those extracurricular activities if you want to get into a good college.
I will say every every GM has their preferred little juicy morsel. And mine is when you can't tell if I'm lying to you. And the fact that you said my mom had her memory wiped was just, ooh, that was roleplay umami right to the face. And I was like, is she? Is she? Is
That's
she
what
lying?
you said. That's what
Is
you
she?
told me, and therefore.
Is she have her memory wiped? Is she lying? Does she genuinely not know? Is she lying to you? Could she
I
be
genuinely believe she's lying.
Those are my favorite moments because they and I love it even more when they're not relevant to plot. When they're like not relevant to anything. And just like that, I just don't trust that person. I'm like, great, you just made an NPC for me. That person's gonna come back somehow. Thank you so much for not believing my completely made up roleplay right there. But yeah, your mom is a plot, and that is a question. That is a pivot point. Where is she lying? Is she telling the truth, or was her mind wiped? Is a genuine plot point, and the fact that you genuinely don't know is just perfect. When you hit that perfect emotion of like, I would like this character to cry, and then they do because it's that emotional scene, or like when you genuinely don't know if you can trust this person, and I'm like, I've achieved fucking Valhalla for NPCs. Those are my favorite moments as a GM. Like, yes. Yeah, what do we okay, let's see here. Question, that's a great question. Hell yeah, dude. What's everyone's theory about Project X? And Noam, you can even weigh in on this because you only know a tidbit, and I bet you forgot it.
I'm pretty sure I just said fuck me up, but I don't think Project X is cold. I don't think Project X is cold.
Okay, what's your theory? What do you think it is?
I think we have an NPC that we haven't met yet.
Okay. Even though your name was in a file with Project X.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, because there could be multiples. There could be others. Colt's not the only boy.
That's true.
I feel like, and this could be wrong, and especially after what Mike divulged of him not having anything mapped out. So I'm probably just giving you a plot point here.
Oh no! I know a few things about Project X. I don't know how it culminates. I don't know. Yeah, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, based on what we saw when we infiltrated the loop, the fact that they're making people. And so where did they get the materials from? Where did they get the genetic material from? Are they using special things? Why are they growing people in the first place? What is the purpose of these clones? So I feel like that has something to do with Project X. It could be that cold, I don't know, stem cell research. That seems like the magical word, right? I don't know. He might have something genetically that is beneficial, or I don't know. Turns out Colt has superpowers. I don't know, man.
Okay. Aris?
I think that Project X is Colt. And probably something slightly bigger than Colt. Colt is maybe an experiment, maybe something happened with a test and Colt was collateral damage and someone felt bad. So they were like, oh, we got to rebuild him. See if we could save this kid. So they used what technology they could. And maybe Colt is a test subject for some of this genetic modifications or something like that. And that would also be a very good reason why he'd be living with someone who works for the Loop, and it probably has is collecting data.
I just imagine him at like some part of his body a stamp that says GMO on it.
I have a rhetorical question for the cast here. KP, you read the file.
Yeah.
I said what you saw based on a 15-year-old seeing it. But as players, all of you, is it the letter X? Or is it a Roman numeral?
That's why Colt's not the only boy.
I don't know. I'm a 15-year-old kid. I don't know nothing about Latin.
I would say it's probably the Roman numeral, but yeah, I think Project X is something a little bit bigger, and Cult is part of it as an experiment, or maybe something like that. Maybe that's their way of trying to save more people that get in like very large accidents, and they're like, well, let's see if all this technology works. Here you go. Here's a boy. This guy got really fucked up. Let's put him with one of our best scientists to keep an eye on him, and if something goes wrong, well, he's in your house.
Yeah. I mean, she does work at Human Resources, so
and he is a human. And possibly a resource.
maybe to both of those things. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see that happen. I like it's weird to say this because I did it myself, but I like the weaving of Mac's mom story and the Project X story being together. It implies both that like they are intrinsically tied together, but also that like Mac's mom might know some shit. Like why do you know this? If you've been gone so long, how do you know this? One of the questions I was hoping would come from this is like, why do you know what my current favorite song is? And why do you know what Project X is? And why did you say the boy and not Colt if you know so many things like my favorite song? And what is the in-between, and why do you need Mac to go back there? Which are all questions that will hopefully be answered in season 2. At least that's my intent to do that.
They'll at least be asked in season 2.
Yeah.
I think today Mac was a little bit more like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
In order to, before asking so many in-depth questions. I did see a question in here, and I have a related question too.
Yeah. Hit it.
G wants to know how the relationship is going between Beau, Beef, and Mrs. Trivedi. I also want to know about how the kids feel about that relationship, because we kind of touched on it in one of the episodes, but we never talked about it after that.
So I will be honest, I almost put in a scene tonight just to punch you both, one or both of you in the gut about it. Is I wanted to have I wanted to have that your song moment. And then I was like in the shower today, and I was like, oh, that would be so fucked. That'd be so fucked. Because originally I had like in my notes was just the wedding song, and then it dawned on me, I was like, oh, it's your song. It's your song. This came out in the 70s. Perfect. It's a perfect wedding song. I was like, what if we cut to a scene where like after this whole thing goes down, they go back to the Trivedi house because that's where Otis is, and that's what makes sense. And Mrs. Trivedi was cleaning because she's having beef for dinner. Well, you can take that however you want. But when they get there, your song is playing, and your dad doesn't dim the music. And I was like, that's too much of that would be ripping out someone's heart. And I was like, I don't know if I'm that mean. I can't be that mean on a finale episode. That's too mean.
That would have been so good.
Yeah, it would. But I was like, that's too hurtful on a finale.
Hurt me good, daddy.
Yeah.
Beef,
I was like,
what's for dinner?
Yeah. I think I remember something.
Cuties, so gross.
Yeah, I think so. Black Dude, big smile, said, I think I remember something fusing into Colt's spine, or that's what I got from the surgery scene. I'm very interested in what that will be if it's ever explored. Yeah. Which is interesting because the weird stuff surrounding this kind of goes back to what we were talking about like the episode, the season and who it was focused on, was like Colt got a vision twice and just decided like, nah, I don't care about that. I got other shit going on. Whereas like Oj's got a vision was like, that's a plot. I got to find that and pull that thread. So like the most that Colt did was he had that dream about the surgery, and then he like felt his neck to like feel scars and didn't feel any. And then he was like, okay, well, that must have been something weird in the future.
He thought it was the future.
Yeah, right.
He thought it was the future, and the future can be changed according to whatever media he consumes.
Every media ever. So yeah, it's
he
very.
He did even mention that he thought it was the future to Mac, and Mac said, well, we're not going to let that happen. And that's the moment Mac was like, I'm going to defend this boy.
Yeah.
You are now my little brother.
Yep. Which is interesting because, like, I think it was, it was definitely today Mac said it, but I think Mac said it previously too. When Ojis was like, yeah, Project X, I found the file, blah, blah, blah. And I think it was Mac that was like, Colt, I think your vision was you in the past. I don't think it was the future. And then Colt was like, I don't have time for that. And that was that. So that's why I was like, that's definitely going to be explored in season 2.
Being a proper 10-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. There was other shit going on that was pressing. Like, if I'm a robot, I'm already a robot. That's not going to change. That's not going to change what's going on right now. Let's solve the right now problem. If me being a robot becomes a problem, we'll figure that out when time comes. Very, very, very Virgo of Colt. But yeah, that will absolutely be explored in season 2. I think Mac's missing mom and Project X are the two big plot points of season 2.
For that.
I will give a fun. I talked about it in Discord a little bit, but I will give a fun Easter egg. Hold on. For season 2 of the Unhallowed cast, along with my names and dates as I flip through my tome of Glenbrook, along with the names and dates of all of the kids in this and the one-shots, I also have the exact dates of all of the one-shots, because my intent is, unless you guys fuck me and have the whole season 2 is on one day, my intent is to wrap up each episode and push time along, and have all of the events of season 2 happen not at the same time, but in different parts of Glenbrook as the one shots. So like you're going to be there at the carnival, and then you're going to like hear about the birthday party that you guys didn't go to for whatever reason, and then you're going to hear about the hurricane that hit, because you'll be in the town when a hurricane hits, and shit like that. So it's gonna be interesting to see like you were here also for all the times that things happened weirdly at the one shots, and see if they are related at all. Also, I don't think we actually answered your question, Aris, is how do the kids feel about the relationship?
Yeah, I was gonna answer. I think whatchamacallit. So just registered it, but there were so many other things going on, and mind you, this is also me as a player. There was just so many things to talk about. I didn't get the chance to like bring that up either. But I really feel like at a certain point, like it's there, it's on his mind, but I don't know if he was emotionally ready to approach that other little bomb that's been ticking in the back. But honestly, there was going to be a moment. I think I just didn't get a chance to role play, but there was going to be a moment of, well, you say dad cheated and he left, and now are you dating someone? What's going on there? Are you like? But it just didn't feel natural coming out at the time, so it didn't come out, and I just didn't get it out. But I feel it'll brew. I think I'm going to let it brew a little longer, especially if this relationship comes, because it hasn't really come out publicly, right? It hasn't been like bombastically revealed. It's just been is it? Maybe. I don't know, not too odious anyways. He kind of missed the entire hand holding kind of a thing.
Season 2, episode 1, baby.
Yeah. So for him, it's still not. It's out of mind, out of sight kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but once he's like forced to see it, that's when I would like to see what his reaction would be. Honestly, it will really depend on what his relationship with his mom is at that point. Has he, reconciled with her? Are they in a better place, or is this still fuming in the background? Because that will determine how he will accept that or not.
So, Aris, what about you? Because that relationship was a plot point for you. Like, that relationship exists because you willed it into being. So I'd like to hear how you have, because originally you, if you don't mind me revealing, one of your plot points was that you found out there was a relationship and you wanted it to not fucking happen. So where does Max stand now?
Oof. So in the beginning, it was definitely one of the secrets that I had for Mac was Beef had a new girlfriend, and Mac just wanted it to be the two of them because that's how it is. It's me and my dad. Why are you coming in here and like we got a good thing going on. They have a great relationship, and it's scary for a kid to have that single parent. It's just the two of us. And then suddenly dad's dating again, and he's doing things that he didn't used to do. And I thought that was a really interesting thing to go. But I rolled so badly on all of the observation stuff that it didn't actually connect for Mac in game that he was going on a date.
Same.
And I gave you so many chances.
I know. It's so, how sometimes the dice tell their own damn story. Well, the dice told their own story here.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that, well, not only most of the season happened in like 2 days, like literally 24 hours. It didn't really, Mac didn't have time to go through that whole process of, okay, my dad's dating. I need to stop this. Let me make a plan to stop this. Oh shit. It's actually my friend's mom that he's dating. Like there was 24 hours between, I think my dad's going on a date to, oh shit, my dad's going on a date with my friend's mom.
Yeah.
So I didn't have time for that plot point to actually even exist. That was going to be one of her drives is my dad has a new love interest is her problem.
I did try to end that day for
about
5 episodes. I tried to end that day to give you guys more time, and you refused. You all shit on my plot advancement, like shit on my calendar advancement. You're like, nope, it's the one day, and I was like, cool, sleepover. You're like, nope. Fuck off. We're stealing a car.
Hold on, we tried.
God damn it, guys.
I blame KP for that
that's
one.
what you wanted. I didn't know. I honestly, genuinely didn't know that's what you wanted.
The thing is like your stealing the car was just so good that I was like, let's see where this goes. Like I can't, like that's such a better plot point than the next day. Let's see what happens. Like,
yeah.
It could have been like, I could have been like, no, the day ends and then you take the car. But like, oh man, that night just stealing the car was just, it was too good. It was too good to like, get in losers. Like it was too good. It was too good of a plot.
Can I just say, I want to add, I'm really curious when we do find out or we are able to connect the dots about our parents dating. You know what it reminds me of? Do you guys ever watch those old Disney Channel movies
Like I think my mom's dating a vampire.
Yeah.
And then there's the other one, which was about him winning a house.
Yeah.
Is that because the entire plot point was about not wanting the parent to date someone, and it always ended up with either the person is a good person and they accept it, or it turns out they're a terrible person and you're just like, oh shit, we need to stop them. I've watched that. My mom's on a date with a vampire movie so many times. I've loved it. So it's a great movie. Thank you, Dot. And I just really love, because in the end, ultimately, even though she doesn't end up with a vampire, she still ends up with someone. And the kids finally accept that, hey, my mom is her own person. She's an adult. She needs someone else in her life. She deserves someone else in her life, and I should not stop her. So I'm just curious how our reaction is and what it is that we're going to do to stop it from happening.
If you do.
Who says we're stopping it? Hold on, I hadn't finished.
If we do.
But yeah, so the fact that we went from that oh, my dad's going on a date with somebody. Oh, he went on a date with Mrs. Trivedi. Oh, okay. And Mac figured it out in the car ride back, that really awkward car ride. She figured it out. And she's also really in tune with the people around her and their emotions. So she's, as much as I hate it because it takes out my problem, she's actually really happy for them. And she just wants her dad to be happy.
Well, now you have a new problem. My mom's stuck in a radio.
Yeah, I'll change that on my character sheet.
But I also, I as the GM, I usually try to stay away from these, but I ship Beef Wellington and Mrs. Trivedi, which we still don't have a first name for her. But because if you look at the characters, and again, I said this in after shows before, check the Patreon, I didn't make these characters. Aris made her dad and gave me a few descriptors of him, and then I was like, cool, I have an image of this man, I got this. And then KP gave me less. He just said, here's my mom, she's a strict Indian woman, and I was like, cool, I'll figure that out. I've seen enough strict ethnic parent videos on the internet since the home video and Bob Saget and shit that I'm like, okay, I got an idea. You know what? If we're not throwing a chancla, we're throwing something. You're getting grounded. And I'm like, okay, I got this. So I was like, we have a strict Indian mom
and a very lackadaisical dad.
And a very, just trying his fucking best dad. So, you have two opposite ends of the spectrums, right? She has schedules, things are routine, they're regimented, dinner's planned out for a week, there's Tupperware with sticky notes on it. This guy has 4 weeks of pizza, frozen, and a fresh pizza that they just bought on the counter. They're two opposite ends of the spectrum. Mac's lunch is some spare cheese, yesterday's pizza, and $1 to buy something at lunch, right? And they balance each other out in some capacity, right? I think that because the two of them arrived together at the Kea residence, that's why that scene played out the way it did. If just Mrs. Trivedi arrived, that would have been a very different scene for Colt and Otis. And if just, although I do think if just Bo arrived, it would be the same scene.
He overrode that.
But he tried at the end. He was like, "You're in trouble," right? So I think the two of them together reach some sort of equilibrium. So I'm interested to see that play out over the course of season 2.
By the way,
if it does,
Mike, you wanted a first name? I'll give you a first name. You want to know what her first name is? I'm going to
I want you to spell it for me somewhere so I can write it down because I'm not going to remember.
I'm going to Stan Lee this. I'm just going to make it Tara. It's going to be Tara Trivedi.
Perfect. I'll write that down. Hold on.
No, I'm Xing that name right now.
Tara is a great name. What are you talking about?
No, it's not.
Literally any other name.
Literally any other names. I want to fucking hear that one coming out of anybody's mouth.
That's true.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
That was not my intention.
No, you're good, man.
We'll pick a new one. We'll let you know, chat.
I love you, KP.
I'm so sorry.
we do have another question, just to hook KP off the stage. Any theories on why Mac has more control in the dark place or the in-between?
Because she's connected to her mama.
But why? What does that mean?
I don't know. They're genetically connected.
Okay.
Special powers.
Thank you so much. Thanks so
when
much,
you're
buddy.
stuck in there for so long, it's like entanglement.
Quantum entanglement.
When you're stuck in
they're entangled.
When you're stuck in the place you so hard, your kids feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those like, I'm gonna slap you so hard your mom's gonna feel it. Same thing. Same thing.
But your kid feels it this time instead.
Okay. I'm interested to hear other theories for that. If you guys have them, let me know in the Discord. Not a question.
I also think maybe a genetic thing. Maybe there is something in Mac and her mom's genes that lend them to be able to manipulate the space, or maybe it's the connection to the emotional connection to sound and sound waves and stuff like that. Maybe.
I have a question. This is a genuine question to gauge your thoughts. I am split on this decision. Is Mac's mom alive?
Can I say? I don't think so. I think this is all a ruse to bring us back into the loop. Because the way that it was framed, the way it was taught, how does she know what Project X is? How does she know about Colt? How does she know about Jennifer? Why does she know that we were connected in any shape or form? Where does this fucking suddenly come from, huh? Why? Why is it happening now?
I will say, she never said Jennifer. She said the girl is the key.
Right. But either way, the fact that how does she know? Why does she know about this recent adventure we've been on at all?
Does she?
Shape or form?
Does she?
She talking about Project X?
She said
Mike doesn't fucking know either, so your answer's not wrong, KP.
So your answer is I actually do know what's going on with her mom. I just haven't decided if she's alive or dead. She didn't say the adventure. She said, I saw you in the in-between. I need you to come back. She said, the girl is the key. And when she was asked if it was Jennifer, she didn't say yes or no. She said, is that her name? And then she said, find Project X, save the boy. So she doesn't know. She didn't use any proper nouns.
I understand. Find the boy and about Project X. The thing is, that happened outside of the in-between space. The conversations about that happened outside of the in-between space. Mm-hmm. That conversation, like, if anything, Otis is the one that primarily saw Project X and then conveyed it to these two later on. But he never, he just mentioned something about Project X being involved, but nothing more beyond that. So the question becomes, once again, how does she know this information? And how does she know we know this information?
It's a good question.
Right?
Aris, you've been uncharacteristically quiet. I saw hands moving. I saw faces.
Oh, Schrodinger's mom. Also, I have a really cute cat in my lap. Look at the boy.
Jesus.
Oh, baby.
Anyways.
Okay, Schrodinger's mom. Okay.
Yeah, it's Schrodinger's mom. She could be alive or dead. Okay. I don't know. She's in the microwave. Yeah, I don't know.
I will say, KP, there is an answer to the questions you asked. I actually have that answer. That's one of the only things I know about her mom. G said, not a question. I just want to learn more about Paradise City and what's going on with Dennis. I don't know if we will. But Dennis is living proof that you can retain information beyond the age of 16. A matter of how is now the question. Here's another theory question. What's everyone's theory about Jennifer?
I don't know, man.
Wrong place,
I
wrong
ain't no
time.
detective.
She's Jennifer is our oh my god, why do I always forget it? Our Bev? Who?
Oh
What
yeah,
is the-
Bev, the one that like got the one that got in the pool.
Yeah, the one
Yeah.
that got in
Very
the
beginning.
pool. Yeah.
Okay, but what about
Yeah.
if your theory is wrong place,
But
wrong
she
time?
can't die because plot armor.
Sure,
That's it.
sure,
That's
because
the only
yeah,
reason that girl's still alive.
gay plot armor. So okay, if your theory is that she's the Glenbrook Bev, why is her hair white and her eyes blue?
Like, she could also be in one of the other projects, not necessarily
Side
Project X, but
effects. It's just side effects from being when whatever the fucking happened.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
the root of the problem was actually in her stomach.
No, it wasn't because they
That's a
pulled it
fun.
out of her lungs, and the lungs don't reach the stomach.
Okay, the root of the problem was in her lungs.
Okay, there you go. Actually,
oh my god.
I am gonna I'm gonna double down on the actually. I said it was an 18-inch vine. And I said the end of it pulled out and looked like a blood clot from the lungs. I never said it was in her lungs. I just said the ending had that same look. The ending also wasn't blood, it was weird vine material. So who knows where 18 inches down your esophagus is stomach, some small
18
intestine.
inches is too big, Mike.
Well, you know,
It's too
that's
big.
that's for hot dice
It's
daddies.
much
If
bigger
you
than
if
18
you
inches, bro.
that's for hot dice daddies. So 18 inches, depending on the size of a person, could be out of stomach and into the large intestine. We don't know where that fucking vine went, or if it was just coiled around something or coiled in something.
Can I take a moment real
Fuck
quick
yeah,
to
please.
just explain when I say 8 inches is too big. I had a project that I was doing where I
Where's this
stacked
going?
all the materials up because I was making a bunch of dice bags. And when I stacked up all of the cut pieces, it was 8 inches tall. 8 inches is too big. That's
Too big.
too many dice bags to have to make all at once. I can't do that all at once. So 8 inches is far too big.
So
That's
if
where
you
we're getting it from.
if you-
it's from making dice bags.
if you guys
not
were
anything else.
if you guys were concerned about it before this moment, please let your fears go to rest. Aris cannot handle 8 inches all at once. You gotta break it down. You did this. You set that up. You set that ball on a tee, and I just knocked it out of the park for you.
Yeah, you know, 8 inches it's a lot all at once. I just can't. It's so much. It's so much all at once. You know, you got to take it just an inch at a time.
Oh Jesus. Oh man. Okay. Somebody said, fucking Christ. It seems like Mac's mom has been stuck in the in-between. I'm reading between the lines here. If she has been stuck for more than a day, she could have been there for years. Because Jennifer was there for 1 day and she said it's been months. So if Mac's mom is alive and stuck in the in-between, she's been there for a decade. Who knows how long that is in between time, which is interesting.
We just Ant-Man plotted this.
Yeah,
She's gonna come out an old lady.
yeah. Or she's just gonna come out the same day she went in and just weird. Did Dennis notice the color change?
Of Jennifer when they met. I don't know if she met Jennifer before. Did she ever meet Jennifer?
She did when you guys went to the game.
Yeah.
Jennifer had blue hair before. I don't know. I don't think she noticed it narratively, and I don't know that she would have said anything because, I mean, Dennis says something about everything, but like when you see a girl with blue hair and the next day you see her with like shock white hair, I don't think you jump to like, what's wrong with that girl? Conclusion, I think you're like, those crazy teenagers in their hair dye. In my day, we grew goatees. You know, it's the beatniks of the 60s grew goatees. That's how they rebelled against people. They had long hair and goatees. So yeah, I don't think she would have been like, science is happening. I think she would have just assumed that weird teenager graduated or finished this year of school and dyed her hair. Let's see here.
Thanks, G.
Yeah. Who even still uses inches as a measurement system? No, thank you. That's a bullshit explanation, she says. I mean, listen, it's that's the explanation. If you see a kid with like, I've seen people like, I've seen Eris dye her hair at one color, have one color one day, and then come in the next stream with a different hair color, and I was like, look at you. You got your hair. Your head's different.
It's that rainbow hair life. You never know what you're going to show up with.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm getting the itch to dye it again.
There you go.
Getting real strong.
Shocking blue.
There you go.
Electric blue. Blue.
Are there any final questions from the cast about this season or season 2?
I had one question, but I feel like it will take a long time for everybody to answer. But maybe we can think about it. Like I feel like each one of us this season has had with our characters that moment we kind of grew into that character that we just were like, this is yes. And you kind of just started feeling that character. Because, you know, when you first start out, you're still playing that character out. You're kind of trying to figure out and get, you know, trying to find the legs on how to play that character, right? What moment was it for you guys where you're like, I know how to play Colt. I know how to play Mac. I understand this character now. Like this moment helped me get an understanding of this character. Like for me, for like Otis, I kind of got it at the beginning. Like I was trying to go for this cool kid, like, yo, bro, kind of a thing. Which, yes, was a teenage thing, but I really enjoyed a lot more when we started going more into like his insecurities and kind of really getting into the thick of things where he kind of had to, you know, go with Alara alone into the situation, and you see him, you know, in these vulnerable situations. And I just really enjoyed that RP moment, and it kind of helped me understand Otis a lot better. I also really enjoyed any moment between him and Colt kind of showing himself as that big older brother that loves his younger brother, would do anything to protect him. So those moments really helped me understand my character more. So out of that situation, what were some things that you guys felt that really helped you?
I honestly didn't really have any of that. I've kind of said it before, but Mac is 14-year-old me, awkward wallflower, very, very often looked over for just about everything. People don't even realize she's there when she is. I just kind of went back into that for myself to find her. And like even the moment in the first episode where she found weird tapes that she just wanted, and she shared, you know, this random silly tape with the cool girl, that was me. And like, if I don't know if anybody knows, but I was going through my old mix CDs and like making a spreadsheet of what's actually on them, since it's been almost 15 years since I've touched them, and I don't know what's on them. But as we were going through, like, I trolled myself so hard, like in the middle of these like metal songs and stuff like that. I had like this one Christmas song from this little boy, and it was just like a moment where we're sitting there and the sound comes out of the stereo, and I just start cracking up because that was like a little piece of me that I put into Mac, where she listens to all this like cool music, but she also listens to some really random music, and she puts it in to like play with herself, because, you know, music should be playful and fun, and you should feel something when you're listening to them. And sometimes you need a break from that feeling something with something completely different, because there's so much emotion in music. So I never really had that. I just kind of put myself back in a 14-year-old pair of pants and kept going with it.
No.
I just watch a lot of coming of age stuff and just use my knowledge of what makes good coming of age characters and stories. That's kind of it.
I fully believe that Gnome is playing a redneck version of the boy from Lost in Space. That's my headcanon. I don't know Lost in Space. Yeah, I don't know enough about Lost in Space, but like everything I've seen about Lost in Space is only because Gnome has made me watch it. And he has very redneck Will Robinson voices vibes there, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, just a sweet boy with a big curiosity
and a little robot.
To be fair, the reason I picked Ojas was because I wanted to feel cool, like I didn't feel when I was going into high school. So it was like kind of the opposite of Mac in the sense of I kind of wanted to see how that feels like. And then immediately they chuck me into the most insecure ways I can experience my character.
Yeah.
Fucking cool. You're just a whip boy for this little candy ass looking girl running around.
I am not. I'm a player, but I'm not. I don't have a player character in this. I don't have a PC. But I'm still going to answer this question because it's fun. Episode 1 was I nailed it for Dennis. And Dennis is just my mom. That's my. I am immune to trolling in general because my parents are my biggest trolls. And I just channeled my parents to be the cool aunt. My parents were the kind of people that in my town, every Friday in high school and middle school, we'd go to the movie theater. So all the kids would get dropped to the movie theater. We'd all go to the movie and see whatever the biggest thing is. And my parents would drop me off in the front of the mall with in front of all my friends, and then they would drive away. And I was like, cool. And then they would drive around the mall. They would roll down all the windows and they would scream at the top of their lungs, Mikey, we love you, in front of all my cool friends. And I'd be like, fucking just go away forever. So that feeling is exactly what I wanted Alara to feel. And my parents have always been that playfully embarrassing people. And I was like, I love them with my whole heart. And I was like, but I'm going to take every bit of my parents and just force them into Dennis and just play that. And then I think episode 2 was for Mr. Wellington. We barely saw him in episode 1, but I think episode 2 we got a bunch more. We really got a lot of beef in episode 2, and I was like, to play from what Ara said, it's me. I was like, what would I, as a new dad, what would I be like if it was just me? I was like, I don't fucking know. I play video games for 9 hours a day. Like, I don't know. My job is to play pretend on the internet. I don't know the fuck I'm doing. I'd be like, yeah.
My kid's 14 or about to be. None of us know what we're doing. We're all making it up as we go along. You're doing great.
Yeah. But I'm like, I don't know how to do. I'm like, I'm just going to buy fruit. I'm just going to chop up fruit and here, eat fruit. That's fucking, you'll figure it out. You want a pizza? I'm going to chop up the pizza. You eat the small chopped up bits. I'll eat the whole thing. Fucking, it's got cheese, bread, meat. That's 3 of the 5 food groups. You're fine. Here, have a glass of milk with some cookies. Wash it down. Figure it out. So I was like, that's what he would just figure it out. He would just try his best. He would try his best, and fucking that's what happens. And I was like, that's the guy. That's the guy right there.
So glad you have Cinda.
Oh, me too, man. Me too. Me too.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think that's a solid ass question to wrap up this Q&A, this season 1 epilogue / Q&A, and we will see you for season 2 in the nearish future. I believe we have some
I think Gia had
scheduling.
one last question there.
Oh, did we have a question there? Did I miss it real
Yeah,
quick?
what was your favorite
Last
scene
question.
from the whole season?
Ooh. Sorry, KP. That's a much better question to end on.
That's fine.
Yeah, what was your favorite scene? I'll go last.
Oh boy, I don't know, man. It was so fantastic. This entire show was so, and it's not even like a scene I had. Everybody had so many cool scenes that I've just been cheerleading in the background for because I was like, so fucking cool. Like the entire Colt and Max scene where he figures out how to ride the motorcycle and they get the freaking cool ass scene of them launching off into the air. But just if he heard that, would be clutching his head. I was just like, oh, so freaking cool. Do it again. Kind of a situation. So I really loved it. I think for Ojas, for me, I don't know. I loved the entire season, but I really loved that first episode because I like I said, that was the only episode I felt like I could play my cool self. Because he was like, get in, loser, let's get in my car, bro. And then he got at the end, knocks out the goddamn floaty thing that's spinning around. So I was just like, yeah, I'm a badass. And then that was which I loved too. I'm not complaining about that aspect at all. I love that aspect too so much.
Yeah.
Like, I loved how Brandy was like, fuck you, you're not cool. You're not cool. I'll come on, you're my whip boy. Come here with me. And it's just like, okay. Which I love though. And I really enjoyed that dynamic. But that first episode, being able to kind of live that out a little, I think I was happy about. And then I was like, okay, that's out of my system. I'm cool with it now. Let's go. Okay. And so I really enjoyed everything else. Obviously the crazy dynamic, the revelations about his dad and all that was really cool too. All those character moments between, Alara and I, Mac and I, and Colt, like those emotional charged moments, I really, really enjoyed. I will always enjoy that. But I think the one that always
you were supposed to pick one.
I could be
not talk about the whole thing.
Fantastic. Leave me alone.
The campaign.
You can't pick every scene.
Y'all were too amazing. It's
Leave some for the rest of us. Jeez.
Right?
I'm sorry. I'm too happy with everything. You guys are so cool.
Well, what about the rest of
you?
you?
Go with episode 1 of me hitting the ball out, the donut out of the air.
That was a cool scene. Aris, what about you?
Oh gosh, I think it was the scene when Ojas and Alara broke into the loop itself, like down, like through the vent, and then everything that happened in there, especially combined with how you mirrored it outside with my brain has stopped working.
Mac and Colt.
We are past time, and my brain is done. Yeah. So that. Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you. No, what about you?
Dennis.
I appreciate that. I think Dennis and Beef are quickly becoming two of my favorite NPCs I've ever played. They're up there with like Belladonna. I have to echo Aris just to wrap this up. That whole episode, splitting a party is narratively great. Logistically a nightmare for most DMs, especially in a very narrative-heavy game. And it was so fun to switch between the two of them based on like cinematic, like lighting cues, action cues, sound cues, just the bouncing back and forth. For me, it was super fun to do that whole episode. And then when the episode ended, this is very egotistical, but fuck it, it's my channel. Every single member of the cast was like, "That was fucking awesome." They were like, "You were so good. That was the best like split party DM I've seen." And I was like, "Thank you so much. I'm so sweaty. That was so much work. I'm so glad it seemed right." So yeah, I'm very
Good work
glad.
paid off.
Yeah, it definitely. I'm so glad that it delivered on a split party that I wasn't expecting. Delivered in a very cinematic movie or TV show style situation. Those are the best accolades I can receive. I'm very much about improv and cinematic play, and when people go, "That was so fucking cinematic," I'm like, "Oh, thank God, it fucking worked."
I feel like the entire reason of your heart rate going up, the 2 times your heart rate went up this entire season, is from me just going, "Fuck it, let's do my own way." Well,
Yeah.
With me deciding, let's go on a ride, and then going, and let's split the party, because that was the reason we split the party.
Yeah. KP gives me agita.
Yeah.
That's it, friends. We're out of here. I think we answered enough questions. We answered enough theories and talked about this. There will be no after show for this episode. This is it. This is what you got. So if you like this and you want more after shows like this, check us out over on the Patreon. Get all the after shows for all the previous episodes of Glenbrook and all the other shows we do in the past and in the present, in the future going forward. Goodbye. Bye, Dot. Bye, friends. That's it from all of us. We will see you next season for Glenbrook Unhallowed Season 2. All of us to you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, all.